in the Boneyard. It's what, fucking Thursday,
Yeah.
and very special guest, first time on the show, and you're a different genre than we normally cover. We're normally a lot of heavy and punk here, but I heard your stuff and I had to get you on the show. So please introduce yourself and
Yeah.
let us know what you're up to.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I know. I feel like you're making an exception for me. So I hope
Oh, good
you're.
music's good music, right?
Yeah,
So,
thank you. Um, my name is Shannon Hawley, and I am a singer-songwriter. I'm based in New Jersey. I have an album coming out in March, and I released singles from the album. The album's called Star Throwers, and yeah, he's so kind to have me talk about, even though it's a little bit softer for you. I don't know.
it
I've seen
is, but mellow music, I don't. When it's good, I don't mind it. Some you just get sucked into it. Especially the release you were. What I read, I did some creeping. I had some time to do some research. So with Mercy, which is one of your singles, right? You
Mhm.
almost didn't even release this song. Then is that the
Yeah,
right one? Yeah.
almost didn't even record it. Almost didn't even record it for this album. It was the most vulnerable song, and so I was kind of unsure. I never played it live because, COVID and everything. So I
Hmm.
wrote it during that time, during the pandemic. And when I played it for my producer in the studio, I was like, while I was playing it for him live, I was like, I can't do the song. I'm not doing it. It's too raw. It's too vulnerable. It's too new. I mean,
Hmm.
I should be careful saying that because it takes me like 7 years to write songs. Um, but but Hector, my producer, was like, "We're doing this. We're doing this," and he really encouraged me and was collaborating with me. And then he was getting me to really sing it how I wanted to sing it, which was like with power. And I'm usually not more restrained when I'm singing, in at least for recordings. And so
Hmm.
we sang our little hearts out, and the studio was in his basement. We came upstairs, and his partner was there, and she basically said to him, "I got the chills. I started crying. You guys have to record this song." So
Yeah,
it's
that's how it came out. It really kind of you can really feel the emotion in that song when you do as it recorded as you put it out. Like that's the first song I heard by you too, and I was like, all right, we're reaching out. We gotta say hello. And,
yes, it almost didn't happen, and the reason why I'm on the show. So worth
yeah,
it.
that's
Um,
so worth doing it. I have another artist I've had on the show. She ended up doing a cover of Heart Shaped Box,
mm,
and it was just same way, just sitting in the studio, dude. They're in between songs, and he starts plucking it, and she started singing it, and they just hit record, and that was it, man. Like made the album, and that's how I found her was that cover song. It was like, oh yeah,
almost
all
didn't
the
have songs, right?
right. So
Well,
now
it's
you,
magic in the studio.
yeah, for sure. Now your other one, Our History. This
Yes.
is one of my favorites by you because I did get to listen to a bunch, but
Yeah.
this one here got me moving today, man. This morning I had it. I bought the little jack so I could play my music through the van stereo on my drive up here, and my first thing that came on when I hit my play with I just hit shuffle on my like list, right? Boom!
Yeah.
It started my day. I drove in. I fucking as soon as I pulled in the gas station, your song ended. I got out. Next song started when I got in. It was perfect, man.
Nice. Yeah, our history. So much fun playing around with that and like really layering that up. And I mean, that was a song that took me years and years to write. Like I wrote one verse and then and like sang that to myself forever and sang it out, but like it wasn't finished. And then finished it off in this really awesome converted old church in Vermont.
That's
Um,
cool.
Yeah, I was by myself. We were allowed, it was like a artist. I got like a artist residency, and so I had the week
Hmm.
songwriting with all these other artists around doing their things in studios. It was so cool, and I was just in this old. I think they use it as a music venue or like a place for people to speak, but it was just this cool church, just me, and I didn't even write the song down. I sang it out, and that was the end of that song, and it felt powerful. So I really wanted to do a good job in the studio.
Well, sometimes the churches have the best acoustics and the best sound. Like they were made for that, the choir, to carry your voice, right? So
Yeah,
to have that chance, to be in there by yourself to belt that out, that's actually pretty cool, man. Because everywhere I go, no matter where it is, Mexico, South Africa, fucking Cuba, even throughout the States, everywhere I go, I always stop into the local church just to go in and check it out. I'm not religious by no means, but the architecture, to hear the sound in there, oh, it's phenomenal, man. It's like I wish I had my guitar every time I walk in, right?
It was so cool. It was really, really cool. And it felt like a moment, like, you know, when everything comes together, and it just was like, I was like, yes, this is it. The song is finally finished.
Right?
Studio. And you know, that song is like about epigenetics, which is not very lyrical, but it's the scientific term for carrying our ancestors' stories in our bodies, basically, like
the energy we store up in that sense, right?
And even your DNA, like not your DNA changes, but your experiences switch genes on and off. So you really literally are carrying your stories in your body. And so that one was really, it was an important one for me to sing, because I was kind of singing it to the future generations, to my daughters, but also ancestors, and kind of feeling what was coming through. So yeah, it's a big one.
A very enlightening song. Like it really picked me up. I'm surprised. And early in the morning, I've got a certain tune. I got like 5 or 6 I pick from depending on my mood. Chuck that on, right? But yeah, that was the first song I heard this morning, man. That my whole day's been, other than being in the cold, kind of working, my whole day's been really good. So
nice. Our history is a good start to the morning.
Yeah. So this is actually your second album?
Yeah.
Album. So what was it like? I guess it's been, let me check my notes here, 2015?
Yeah. So
I didn't even have it on. I just kind of threw that out there. I'm flipping through now, right?
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then to get back in the studio now, you can, I got the chance to listen to some of your other stuff, like from the older album. You can really see the progression kind of coming forward on your second album here. Like you really took it up a notch in that sense. Like most bands, always the second album, third album always gets better and better, right?
Yeah, I wanted to take it up a notch, and I think knowing then, you know how recording is. It's like, you know how much goes into recording. You know, it's a big undertaking, especially an album. And I knew that these songs lent themselves to more drama and bigger, more layers. And so, yeah, I wanted to go for it. And Hector was great. And also, I think part of it is I don't have access to as many musicians. And so Hector, he does EDM music. So he's very good with synths and those kinds of layers. And we wanted to see how we could have fun with that. So.
No, it's pretty cool. I noticed you threw some guitars in some of the music, kind of mixed them up a bit, though. That's kind of what I'm working on right now with Past Lives over there with Andrew Joseph and Nick Nombre. They're more in the rap scene and like techno, such as yourself in that sense. I guess you would consider yourself techno, or like, what would you say, man? I don't know.
I'd say I'm experimental, because I feel like I come from the folk world for sure. So what I really care about is the songwriting. Like I'm a writer, and I love playing around with singing turns of phrases and stuff like that. But I think it was really Hector that got me into more those sounds of like experimenting with different sounds and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I know your first album, for what I read and kind of heard, you have more of a fairy tale feel. As you said, you're a writer. So
yeah.
Is that album like a concept album? Does the whole album tell a whole story start to finish?
Totally.
Huge fan of that. I talk about it all the time on here, man. Big time. Dispel is a big one with Dante's Inferno. They just released some new stuff. I put it up it'll be a couple videos down. He did some behind the scenes, talked about how they wrote the album and the stuff that went into it, right? Yeah, I love the concept.
Yeah, I do too. And that one was a total concept album. You know, my husband and I had just finished taking care of my mom who had stage 3 throat cancer. She's fine. She's survived. But I did not want to write about anything real and anything human problems. I wanted to just dive into fantasy and little vignettes. And so that album is, I mean, I was definitely writing about what questions I was struggling with and living at the time, but in the way of like falling in love with a wolf or
loving the beast in that sense, or
and so I was really inspired by a lot of poets, Rumi and Rilke and Tagore and Mariette and stuff. So that was it, start to finish. And in the starts with an intro, and then it sort of ends with like thinking about the world you carry within you. So yeah, it's a concept.
I was wondering, because I was just flipping through some of the artwork too. When you're doing the artwork for these albums, especially on the new one, you got some pretty cool artwork as well. I know it covers just you with. Is that okay? You're holding a vine. I was like, you got a snake all wrapped around there. Where's
the trees? The trees.
Yeah. You know, so I guess is that a local photo then?
Yeah, it's local, and it's a woman photographer. She was awesome, and you know, I told her just the album is called Star Throwers, and there's this story. Yeah, did you read about the story? Like,
I got into it a bit, and then the fridge broke in the hotel, so I took care of that, and then I come back, set the thing up. I'm trying to read and do this, right? So,
so and this album's looser, but it is a concept too, I guess. This title track is called Star Throwers, and I read this awesome essay by Lauren Isley. He was like a nature writer. And he wrote about this one guy who was throwing sea stars or starfish. I think
starfish, I guess. Yeah, sea stars. Yeah, depending on where you're from.
So he's throwing the starfish because there's this beach that they basically get stuck on this cliff through the high tides and the low tides, and they're dying. So there's like thousands of them on the beach, and he's throwing them one by one into the beach. And this narrator sees him doing it like every morning, and he goes up to him finally one morning and says, like, "Why are you doing this? There's like so many stars." So many starfish, like you're not going to make a difference. And the guy basically essentially throws one back in the ocean, says like, it's going to make a difference to this one.
Yeah.
And that kind of changes the narrator's thoughts about his power in the world and what he could do and kindness. And so a lot of these songs and this album a lot of them are about women. A lot of them are about my ancestors. A lot of them are about caretakers. And just like how that kindness sometimes can save someone. And I think I was indoctrinated as a star thrower when I was like 11 years old. My dad died of brain cancer, and I have 4 younger sisters. So I was the oldest of 5 girls.
Yeah.
And our family,
the whole family, all 5, like
all 5 girls,
no brothers, just all 5 girls. Eh? Wow.
I know. So it was my mom and 5 girls and a dog named Lady, and and my family just swooped in and just stood by and like really were there for us. And in that way, they really tossed us back to the land of the living over and over again. Sadness and our grief, and it just showed me that like that makes such a difference. And so I kind of have lived a life of service since then, and I'm so grade. But yeah, music means like music is what it is. So
music is probably the best way to get your word out there in that sense. Like you can babble behind the camera all you want. People are, she's just fucking crazy. But you put a sick beat behind it, they start listening and learning your lyrics. You know what I mean? Right?
Music, yeah.
I did read at the end there of the biography there on how it's kind of a story on your struggles throughout life, and then the story of women in general. So I've got to say, like, even in the metal scene, it's used to be dominated by men all 100%. And now I would almost say the bands that are coming up are 50-50 female vocalist run front woman, you know, in that sense. And then we cover quite a few here in the show. I'm about to go back. I got to take a whole week off, write down everyone that's been on the show, and then fucking do something awesome with all that information. But it's a lot, right? So
yeah. Well, that's awesome that you're reaching out, you're talking to musicians, you're connecting, you're like connecting people to audiences. It's just it's interesting, like promoting an album, I guess promoting it like 7 years, 8 years later. Like I used to print out CDs. I don't even know if I'm gonna do that this time. I'm not sure what audiences like, what they want. Now that you can just listen to it on Spotify, I'm not sure.
I know vinyl is very expensive to get made, but when you do the limited release, a lot like vinyl's outselling CDs and everything else right now, right? Everyone's going back to the vintage sound, the clear. I don't know. There's something about it, you know. But other than that, it's digital. Like I personally love getting the CD and pulling the booklet out, you know, or getting the vinyl. The artwork is the big thing for me as well, right? So. So with that, like, you're found. Where do we find all your music? Obviously, you're on Spotify, which I'll share the link after the show. I'll update everything up. But you're on what? Tell us, and then I'll throw the links in the title after the show.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, definitely I'll be on Spotify, and the whole album will come out March 23rd, so soon. I'm gonna do one more single release. Yeah, on March 10th. And then Spotify, I have a website because I also do like breath work and sound baths and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, you got all kinds of stuff on the go.
It's all over the place. It's like, one stop shop. But that's song and healing. And song and sound healing is my like handle on Instagram too. So I'm on there.
Yeah. Song healing. I like that, man. Yeah. We just a 2-year anniversary come up. I think today when I did with Margaret and the Songbird Foundation, they do a lot of mental health work and stuff. And then they're actually rescheduled here in March. So they'll be coming back on the show 2 years later. They've got a new record that's that's coming out. And it's all goes towards, I don't want to say all, but a lot of it goes towards the charities and stuff and the people that made the album and that, right? So.
I kind of saw that today because I was like kind of poking around and
yeah, you should though. Like, what do I got myself into, right?
What I got myself into somebody that wants to talk about music. Like, yes. I want to talk to people about this process, about the music. I mean, this is my heart, so this is a big album for me. So
with this new album, I know you got 3 singles. You have 2 out right now. I'm gonna post my favorite single in the link so you guys can check that out and you'll follow the rabbit hole. But our videos, are you gonna be shooting some videos or are they already shot and done? Just haven't been.
I did not do any videos, and I really want to.
Yeah,
These songs are pretty drama. I mean, like I really want to place these songs in TV and film because I just love that collaboration of like visuals with the music, but especially
I like that. We just had a band on. His internet was coming in and out. The song's called Killdozer, and you really need to see the video to understand the song in that sense. And we started to go pretty deep down the rabbit hole of the video and where the footage and all that come from, but his internet was in and out, so he's rescheduling. He's going to make sure he's got like solid internet though. But I didn't understand the song till I seen the video. And I was like, I know all about this story. Right? So we had lots to talk about, you know. But
me too. I love video too. I mean, we're a visual world. We really are.
100%. Like from the time when I was a kid, at least. You're like 24, 25 now, right? So, right, but I grew up before all the internet, cell phones. We had a party line, so you had a certain ring for your house, and your neighbor had a different ring, but you could like listen to everyone's conversations, right?
That's crazy. Yeah. No, I am a 44-year-old
What?
musician.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm 42. I'll be 43 this year myself. So, right. Cheers to you for that. But so nowadays, like back in the day, even 2015, you were kind of still handing CDs out in parking lots and shit. Like,
Totally.
are you liking the way it is now, or are you finding it even more difficult with all million of fucking other people coming in? Right?
I know, right? It's like, it's great because it's accessible, and you can get your music out there, and you can get your message out there. I mean, you can do it on Instagram, you can do it on TikTok, you can do it on Facebook, all the things. And like, there's so much that it's like people would have to see it like 1,000 times to maybe even be interested, right?
Yeah, no, it's so true.
But I believe in the music, so you're just gonna keep going.
Yeah.
I like having a physical thing too, and I didn't get vinyls printed yet because I wanted to see if there was a desire for them. And so somebody on the side says, like, I love CDs.
Oh, Kyla here. Let's say hello to everyone. We got my buddy Dave, fucking all the way from Montreal. He's played a festival last year down there in Maine on the other side of the border, and he's playing our big skate show that we've got. We haven't announced it yet, though, but yeah. So it's a 2-day skate festival. We got like 10 bands coming in. We're working on the final details. The one place we had everything was a go, but then the town found out, so it's not a go. So we had to move, and that the problems with all that, right? We got Justin watching, Kyle was watching, Tammy's on here.
It made me feel
probably a bunch of others.
Experienced. Well, so where is the festival? Do you know where you don't know where it's going to be yet?
I can't. I'll talk to you behind the stage. Yeah. You almost got me. I almost jumped it out too. Oh.
No. Yeah. Maine. We go up there every summer. We love Maine.
No, we do a big thing there in October, man. You should come check it out. It's a little semi-private event, but we definitely have room for a couple of you. You and the old man come down, I wouldn't recommend your kid. It's actually where I get to put my heavy bands, because right now I have a problem getting the Death Fest set up. Like a lot of bars and stuff don't want you. There's a couple in the area, right? But like, I like my heavy music, right? But so we had to convince them. We got a bunch of mellow, chill bands from AP Records, which happen to be affiliated with and working with now. And then the Saturday, I get kind of my bands, my punk, bit of thrash. I got a couple of metal bands coming from Montreal, like, going all in, right? Nice. But then, so yeah, once we lock down the place, we're pretty sure we have everything secure. We're just waiting for the venue to actually give us the thumbs up, and then we're good to go. Everything else is lined up, ready to go. We have the big barbecue, which sold out before tickets even went on sale, because we always do an early access for our members here in the Boneyard, and it always sells out every year. We got 5 bands coming, so we've got Sapphire Rain coming from Indianapolis. Actually, maybe next year. We got quite a few hip hop and rap artists, so you'd fit right in for next year. We'll keep in touch for sure, right? And then we have our very own Andrew Joseph coming on stage. He's actually opening for Mad Child here real soon. He did an Afro Man show and stuff just recently. Then we've got One in the Chamber, Toronto local band, fantastic. We got Late Night Trouble coming in from all the way from Montreal, and we're flying Johnny No Cash all the way from BC coming in, man. Amazing. One of the best Canadian hardcore country, I guess you'd call it. Like, it's that nitty gritty, kind of like that Johnny No Cash, you know what I mean? Or Hank Williams Jr. and stuff, right? Like that heavy punk country shit. He's closing the night out for us. It's going to be fantastic, right?
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm interested interested to see, like, I feel like one of the songs on this album, I don't know if it feels a little bit of a punk vibe. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. Maybe just the beat, but it's called Lights in Holland. Well, I want to get your
Oh,
take on it, if it counts as punk.
yeah. You can send it after the show, and trust me, I won't. I get so much music, and it's like I can't tell nobody. It's like, come on, man. But I'm pretty good at keeping tight lips, you know. Fucking.
Yeah.
So.
The good news is, like, if anything slipped out, like, I wouldn't be so sad, you
No,
know?
I personally wouldn't either. Like,
Yeah.
we just finally got my single. I recorded it 4 years, wrote it 20 years ago, like yourself.
Okay.
I'm embarrassed personally to the personal. Everything I write is very personal, right? So I recorded it 4 years ago, and then I finally got it remastered. It's probably going to air next time we're on the radio. So I'll be
Nice.
bringing in one of your tunes. I'm going to bring in my favorite tune right now. Love that. I'm going to play probably everyone that's playing at the festival this year, and then I'll play my own tune at the end of the night, right? So.
Awesome.
But we'll tag you when we play your music. We'll tag you, and that way you can listen in, and I'll go on about how awesome this interview was. Great person. Check them out. Check out their music, you know. So,
yeah.
But that's new this year for us, man. We're on 3 different radio stations, 4, 5 times a week now. So,
Beautiful.
yeah, we're pushing for the indie bands, man. We're giving back. Like, music saved my life. I imagine you and your sisters all got that song that saved your life, you know, like.
Totally. Saved my life again and again. Writing the music, listening to music, connecting with other artists, all the things. I mean, just songs out that, you know, like at the right moment can just save you. So,
yeah, it's so true, man. It's so true.
I appreciate anybody that is a creative and an artist and keeps going and making the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's no matter where I go in the world, whether it's in Cuba and we're in town, there's a big festival. People are dancing, the music. Even I'm in love with the music when I'm there. Normally you'd never hear me, you know, or South Africa, Death Fest with fucking Stone Daisies and them. That's insane. Like, it didn't matter where I was in the world listening to music. We were all there for the same reason, man. Yeah. We were all family. We were all that group at that moment in time, right?
Yeah. No, music, it brings us together, and that's the magic and the mystery, right? It's everything.
Yeah. So as you're writing, you're just a writer in general, so you're probably always doodling down words.
Yes.
Is there ever a time when you're just doodling, say, a story, and then you pull out a song from that writing? Is that how that goes? You just put everything down and then pick through? Oh shit, that's good, right?
Yeah, I think, like, you know, I'm always thinking about lyrics and phrasing and stuff like that, and as I'm walking, like, mostly in nature, like trying to put stuff together. And I'll like sit on a song, you know, nothing's working, and then I'll move on to the next song. But yeah, I'm always writing. Always writing. And so, like, with this album, even, I would say playing around on the guitar and trying out different lyrics. I actually didn't write them down until I really sang it and was like, you know what? If it sticks, it sticks. And if it doesn't, it's not good. It's not good enough.
Kind of how I do mine. Like, the riff has stuck with me for 20 years now plus.
Yes.
But the words have always evolved and always have changed. Like, I got the one song I'm about to release here next time we're for the radio. I sing it different still to this day. It's still not like to sing it and play it. Everyone's like trying to sing along. They've listened to the song 100 times. It's totally different, right? But I can't help it. It's always evolving and always growing, right? So I never want to release anything that's never finished to me. Like, is there? Obviously, you struggle with that, songwriter, like.
Totally. And I for one of these songs, it is 15 years old, the oldest song on this album. I mean, I have released a different album, but this song didn't make it on it because it wasn't finished. Honestly, this song particularly, I could ever totally finish, but I was so ready to be done with it. I was like, I have to on this album.
So that's kind of where I'm at now with the 2 studios, being with AP Records. I can finally get this stuff out of my head. Or with Past Life and Andrew and Nick Nombre, they're even closer to me just to get the riff out of my head so that I can move on. I have all these riffs from like, probably the oldest riff I have right now is probably 5 years, but I go back 20, 15, 17 years, all depending, right? But I need them out of my head. I need them down and out so I can move on to something new. You know what I mean? Like, I always have a new riff, but I can never complete it because I'm always go back to this one.
It does feel good to eventually get it recorded and have it be finished, and like feel like you really can let it go. It doesn't belong to you anymore. It belongs to the world. Release it.
This is it, right? Like,
yeah, and that feels good. That does feel good. It feels like it feels like that's when I can really let it go.
It's almost like a weight off the shoulders in that sense. Like, it's like finally you can breathe.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now on to the next. As soon as you're done that breath, you're on to the next song, right? It's like 1,000 more pounds on your fucking plate, right?
Also the fear, like, is there gonna be a next song? Like, where's the next song gonna come from? You know?
Yeah.
Like Leonard Cohen says, if I knew where the good songs came from, I'd go there more often. But like,
so true though.
Yourself and go where the muse is, and I think wonder, whatever you're like curious about and wonder about, like in awe of, is the place where the songs are.
When a lot of people don't sit down and just shut everything off, like turn your TV off, throw your phone on airplane mode, and just sit there for 20 minutes a day, man. That's it, and just sit there and be quiet. Don't have nothing distracting you. We're in the music industry, especially now. A lot of it's online, man. It's constantly boom, boom, boom. Like when we go in for the radio, I turn mine on airplane mode. It's my favorite time of the fucking day, man, because I got no more emails, and then we get done and we turn it on and we don't talk for 2 hours, even though we're sitting, because we're gotta answer all these messages now, right? Like,
it's true, and it's constant. Even I meditate every day, and I'm like, okay, but I use my phone to do this. I'm like, it's so hard for me to be like, okay, just like put it over there and like use it.
Yeah. A very good friend sent me over some stuff to meditate too, because I've been looking really into it lately, right? And really needing that time now. Like, it's nonstop. It's too much. I need to shut off. So she sent that over to me, man. And like you said, I used my phone to listen to it. But I wasn't using my phone. I just turned it on and then turned it away and then just listened to it as I did what they said, right?
Yeah, same. And it helps me. I mean, when we lived in Los Angeles, it was, I would go, because the noise really got to me, like the constant traffic and the noise and everything. And I started going to these sound baths because I didn't really have access to nature, but it was what I was looking for, was some kind of quiet or stillness.
Mm-hmm.
And these were just like, instruments being played, crystal bowls and gongs and beautiful instruments being played to help your body relax. And it helped me. It helped my nervous system so much.
Yeah.
Listening, like I'm sensitive to sound, and you want to be quiet and listen, and that's another place the good songs come from. It's like still.
No, I'm like you, very sensitive to sound, and I'm losing my hearing too, which makes it worse. Because I work construction my whole life. Everything's loud. Go to loud metal music. No earplugs. Whatever. I highly recommend wearing earplugs when you go to a show, because you want to be able to hear it in 20 years. But like even if we just went to a bar, just having it packed, other people talking, I can't hear the people now. Everything's like, it's too much. I've got to go, man. I'm gonna go outside just to smoke just to go outside and be quiet for 5 minutes, you know.
I have it too. It's so hard to do that because you can't really concentrate on anything going on. It's like just sensory overload.
Yeah, it's just right. Like,
I wonder if a lot of musicians have the sensitivity to sound, and also like, yeah, our ears get a little damaged too.
I would say a majority of us do for sure. Just it's very common. Like not a lot of people talk about that though. You know what I mean? Like even if you're in the car or it's say the band and everyone's talking, I can't hear a word. It's just all, and now I'm just trying to stay calm, wait for the noise to subside. You know what I mean? Right? But
same. I know.
So, have you had the pleasure of being on tour or going on a nice like a stage and performing yet?
I mean, I performed a lot, but it's always been, I would say, mostly been solo, like me and my guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So I came from the folk world, so that was the norm, and that was fine. It's so, but when I was in Vermont, I did play with other musicians. Like we had this little band called Aunt Honey. Aunt Honey. And I love playing with a band. That is awesome. But I've moved around so much that like we hire players for the albums, but it's really hard as adults to like be dedicated in a band.
I know it's talk to so many guys. A lot of us work full time too. You know what I mean? And it's like and then families, right? Like some of them have kids. My first band, they all got married and had kids. And that was the end of the band. I was like left standing there with my guitar, like shit. I thought we had something, bud. Like right.
It's so hard. I know. You know, and my producer Hector Nectar Gunn is his artist name. He does a lot of EDM now, but he was in a progressive rock band for like 7 years, and that's what happened. I mean, it just was like got to be too much, and I think he does EDM because he can do so much solo, like work with the sounds and stuff. So, you know, my dream is that someday I could tour this album and really like play with a band. That would be amazing, but we'll see what the reception is like. Can I make that happen? We'll see.
Yeah. Well, what I'll do when I go in, I've got a couple riffs you could take and remix and master and stuff, and maybe come up with something a little more, as you said, punkish or a little more edgy in that sense. But that's my focus in that sense right now, especially running with the 2 studios. It's just getting the album done and getting it, like I said, out of my head. I just want it gone. I want new shit. Right.
Be complete and give that to the world, and then moving.
Yeah. Wrap it up. Put a bow on her, baby. Here you go. Right. So, blow you a kiss at the store, and fucking sign it for you if you want. Have you been recognized, or like have people run up and want autographs yet, or no?
No, not so much. Even like, like my kids, people say to me like, your kids must want you to like sing to them all the time. I'm like, ish, they kind of do. I'm their mom, so not.
Yeah, you're just belting stuff out, you know.
So yeah, no like major brushes with fame.
No way. I've had it one time. I think it was in Thunder Bay. We ended up broadcasting out of the weed store because the girl recognized me from the last time we were up there buying weed, and I was talking about the show and shit. I guess they started watching it, and then when I come back in, they were like, "Hey!" I was like, "Hey!" They were like, "It's our 1-year anniversary." I was like, "Let us broadcast it. We'll broadcast broadcast live out of the fucking store." Right? It's like, yeah. J-Corp up there in Thunder Bay, man. I guess they're all around Ontario, kind of.
Yeah.
It's becoming a monopoly right now. There's a couple of the big fucking money guys buying all the little mom and pop shops up, as always. So it's going to become the Walmart of weed, right? And then that's.
Yeah. In LA, we had MedMen. That was simple.
Yeah, that was pretty much it, eh? Method Man down there.
It was a big one. It was a big one. It just felt so like sterile
So
or something.
yeah. So where you are now, what's the laws? I know every state's different, right? So
I think it's legal in New Jersey now, but like it's sort of new here.
yeah.
There's like not a lot of like shops yet.
Here that we have more pot shops than fucking coffee shops, man. Like everywhere you go, there's one on the corner. There's one, right? Like,
Yeah. I mean, in Los Angeles, yeah, it was.
same. I guess it would be right, but
Yeah, it was good to go.
yeah,
I think Vermont is probably good now. It took
yeah. Colorado, California,
yeah.
where I'm from, you might as well fucking. You're gone for 10 years. See you later. You might as well have 10 pounds. Because even if it's a doobie, you're fucking going away for 5 years because it's all still on the Schedule 1 shit right up there with that's Georgia, right? Even like Texas is pretty rough too, I hear. They're not quite as lenient that they call you a hippie. Right? You fucking hippie. We'll see you in 10 years. Right?
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. Yeah, it's weird to be like a state by state thing right now, but yeah, that's where we're at.
Right? Come to Canada, man. Next year we'll have you on the festival. We'll throw a big show. Before I even say that, you guys have a passport, like you can travel over and do a show in Canada if you were able to. Or?
Go to Montreal at the time when we lived in Vermont. It was the closest city. It was closer than Boston.
Oh yeah, that's right close. Because I know last year in October when we did the big metal fest there, big shout out to Kingdom of Nightmares and Thy Enemy who hosted the show, had the place. We brought the bands, but where was I going? They only had a 4-hour drive from Montreal where they were. And then I was 9 hours. Like I had to take a couple extra days off just to make the trip and make sure I could get to work and shit. It was like, it was worth it though.
Yeah, that was, Montreal's a great city.
Yeah, I love Montreal, man. Right now they're killing the music scene, man, as far as metal and rock. Blowing everybody out of the water. Toronto's a close second, but fucking so many bands on the show that are from Montreal.
Similar in size or like population or no?
I would say Quebec and like Quebec and Ontario are pretty close to the same size. I know Ontario's huge. We're like the largest province, but Quebec's very fucking close behind us. But yeah, as far as city goes, Montreal, Toronto's definitely way bigger than anything in Canada, but Montreal's an amazing city, man. I fucking love it there. I go there as much as I possibly can. Right?
Sure. I saw some good music there. Yeah, like it was a great place to go. It's a little bit far.
Yeah, a bit of a tour for you now, right? But yeah, I just went there just before Christmas and all that. Probably wasn't that long ago. Like a month or two, maybe 3 months ago now. Yeah, I just took off. I had to get out. I ended up fucking seeing a big punk band the one night. Wandered into a bar and stuff. Then I found this cocktail bar that was like 2-for-1 Russians. So I was drinking these Russian drinks they were making. I don't know, 2-for-1. Fuck. It was crazy. It was so fun though. But yeah, I shut all the phones off. I think I only did one interview the whole time I was there. I was like, I gotta unwind,
Yeah, I hear that.
So your scene in your town or your area, like who else should we be watching out for? Who are some other bands that you kind of play with or you're listening, some local stuff there?
Some local stuff?
Yeah, man.
I mean, good question. So Asbury Park is, I would say, a great music scene, although yeah, I think that's the spot. And I mean, obviously Nectar Gun. You should check him out. He does more EDM stuff, so like plug his music for sure.
Yeah, of course.
That's a good question. Like locally, I have to check out more.
Well, next time you're on, that'll be my repeat question. The one question I ask you again, and then you better have a few bands on the list.
I know. I mean, I have a songwriter that I really love, but I don't know if he has any new stuff right now. Rick Barry.
Hey.
He's in Asbury Park, and I really like his songwriting a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I'll have to. Yeah. No, I'll give you more. I'll give you better.
Perfect. But you're welcome on anytime, man. You're a fun guest.
Thank you.
Being the metalhead I am, man. I'm really liking what you've got out right now. Even your older album, The Concept. I haven't gone through and listened to Order yet, but the day's coming very soon. So,
yes.
All right.
I think that album is great for a long drive.
Yeah.
That's my hope and dream for that last album.
Well, when I get to leave here, I've got to go to Niagara, so that's like a 7-hour drive. So I'll download it before I leave. I'll put it on that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, that Concept one, and like I'm excited for this album. I'm really excited for Star Throwers.
So it's not even out yet. Holy, wow, eh?
It's not out yet. I've got one more single, and then it's out.
Out next month, I guess. March, you said, eh? Yeah, I'm excited. So the 2 singles you have out, the first one almost didn't happen. You guys made it happen. The second single is so far my favorite of all right now. I love that song.
Good. I like that. Chin chin. I like the guitar part.
Yeah, it's got that beat. It sucks me right in, man.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to hear another one. Like, it just gets better and better as we go. So,
I'm excited to hear the rest.
Once again, where do we find you? Where's the best spot to support your stuff?
Good question. Where do people like to go?
Personally, I know Spotify sucks for the artist. I know,
but like I want them to listen to the music, so the music is there.
Yeah.
It's on Spotify.
So Spotify, you've got once you do lyric videos per se, or videos, you got YouTube.
I do have a YouTube. It's Shannon Holly. Do you want me to give you all the links?
Yeah, send me all the links and I'll chuck them all in the title. But are you on Bandcamp at all, though?
I am on Bandcamp.
Good.
The new album isn't on Bandcamp yet, but the old album is. So, but it will be there. Bandcamp.
Okay. Because for what I understand here in Canada, I've been spreading the word in the U.S. too. Like, apparently Bandcamp is where you get the most support. You get the most funding from when people buy. It goes directly to you and all this sense, right? And so.
Yeah. A little more connected. You feel a little more.
Yeah. So once you're on Bandcamp, send me the link. I'll make sure I spread the word.
I will totally do that.
Excellent. But send me all the links. Do it through email either way. I'll copy and paste them. We'll update the title. Is there anything else?
No, that's it. I mean, on Instagram, I'm Song and Sound Healing, but I'm thinking about changing it to Shannon Holly Music because I think I'm hiding behind the Sound Healing. Oh, vinyl. I love that.
Yeah.
I listen to Spotify, but I buy vinyl too. And you even buy the CDs. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, this he's going to be doing the drumming on my album this year.
Yes.
So, yeah. He doesn't know he's doing all the songs, but he's probably doing all the songs. Yeah. I just got to get the time to get in, right? We'll get you doing some beats. You and we're going to collab on this album then. I'm going to send you a little something and then we'll go from there.
Hector too. Yeah, we'll work on it.
So, send me the links. Once again, who are you? Where do we find you?
Shannon Holly, Song and Sound Healing. You can go to my website, Song and Sound Healing, or Shannon Holly on Spotify.
Soon to be on all platforms.
Yes.
Check her out, man, and keep an eye out for her in Canada next year. We'll probably end up making that happen. And then play loud and play proud, people, man. Thanks you for tuning in. And honor to have you on. I can't wait to have you on again, man. We'll talk to you.
Thank you so much.
Talk to you a lot. All right.